they say today is a good day to fast from speaking. So Srila Prabhupada says the real mauna is to speak about Krishna. Otherwise, the mind never stops talking unless you know how to absorb yourself in japa or kirtan, hopefully. So, very early days, one devotee told me, do you read Srimad Bhagavatam? He said, you must read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then when you chant, you can remember Krishna a little bit. So Prabhupada made it part of the program to always read Srimad Bhagavatam. Although, I must say, some of the things we are reading now, we don't really want to think about during our japa. Canto 9, so we'll discuss it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9. According to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, this is Isha Anukatha, or sometimes Vamsha Anukatha, description of dynasties and pastimes of the avatars. Chapter 14 is called King Pururava Enchanted by Urvashi. There's a temple of Urvashi in Badrinath. And we are reading verses 7 through 9. It's very interesting that in this canto, which is, how to say, some of the most challenging material for our normal ISKCON person, and hardly much commentaries, hardly any commentary from anybody, either Srila Prabhupada or Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur or any commentator. So therefore we have 3 verses, because no commentaries, except in verse 9. So, you know, there is a scandal in paradise. And we are reading about it. People like to read about scandals among prominent people. So, no worries, we have it in Srimad Bhagavatam too. But with Krishna consciousness. So, I guess I will chant 7, 8 myself, and then 9 we chant together. 7. Sarva deva ganopeto mahendro gurumanvayat surasura vinasho bud samaras tarakamaya. King Indra, accompanied by all kinds of demigods, joined the side of Brihaspati. Thus there was a great fight, destroying both demons and demigods, only for the sake of Tara, Brihaspati's wife. Text 8. Nivedito thangira sa somam nirbartya vishvakrit taram swabartre prayachad antarvatnim avaitpati. When Lord Brahma was fully informed by Angira, so Angira is the Manasaputra of Brahma, and Brihaspati is Angirasa, the son of Angira. So that's that's Brahma's great grandson through Angira. So Angira comes. So he informed by Angira about the entire incident. He severely chastised the moon god Soma. Thus, Lord Brahma delivered Tara to her husband, who could then understand that she was pregnant. So grandfather, the grandpa came and said, "Don't you do this, no, and sent back Tara to her husband. And text 9. Let us chant responsively. Tyaja tyajasho dushpragye. Tyaja tyajasho dushpragye. Mat kshetrat ahitam parai. Mat kshetrat ahitam parai. Naham tvam basmasat kuryam. Naham tvam basmasat kuryam. Striyam santanike sati. Striyam santanike sati. Tyaja, deliver. Tyaja, deliver. Ashu, immediately. Dushprage, you foolish woman. Matkshetrat, from the womb meant for me to impregnate. Ahitam, begotten. Parai, by others. Na, not. Aham, I. Tvam, you. Basmasat, burnt to ashes. Kuryam, shall make. Striyam, because you are a woman. Santanike, wanting a child. Asati, although you are unchaste. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Brihaspati said, you foolish woman, your womb, which was meant for me to impregnate, has been impregnated by someone other than me. Immediately deliver your child. Immediately deliver it. Be assured that after the child is delivered, I shall not burn you to ashes. I know that although you are unchaste, you wanted a son. Therefore, I shall not punish you. Purport. Tara was married to Brihaspati, and therefore, as a chaste woman, she should have been impregnated by him. But instead, she preferred to be impregnated by Soma, the moon god, and therefore she was unchaste. Although Brihaspati accepted Tara from Brahma, when he saw that she was pregnant, he wanted her to deliver a son immediately. Tara certainly very much feared her husband, and she thought she might be punished after giving birth. Thus, Brihaspati assured her that he would not punish her, for although she was unchaste and had become pregnant illicitly, she wanted a son. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Chaitanya Padamboja Madhupebhyo Namo Namah Katanchidashayad Yesham Shapitat Gandha Bhagavad. My respectful obeisances to all the devotees of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are like honeybees drinking honey from the lotus of the Lord's lotus feet. Even a dog taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees will also get a share of that honey. Yasya prasadad agyapi sadhya sarvagyatam vrajet Shri Chaitanya Devo me Bhagavan samprasidatu. May Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be fully merciful unto me. By His grace, a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. This is Madhya 1.1. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam is perfect. Srimad Bhagavatam is Rasam Alayam, is only rasa. Jiva Goswami emphasizes in Srimad Bhagavatam there is nothing except Shuddha rasa, pure rasa, spiritual rasa. So when you read about some heavenly scandal, you may think, my God, is it really transcendental? How do they do this? Why do they do this? Why do we have to read it? Even some of these things. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that every syllable in the Bhagavatam is rasa. every letter is rasa. So what kind of rasa do we have in these chapters? So especially Canto 9, sometimes you read, this king had this son, that one had that son, and then there was that son, that son. And within one or two verses, you cover a few thousand years. And sometimes you see something that looks like enjoyment. Just shortly, there is going to be Yayati story, is very famous. Another very romantic, fun story. Looks like something the king could enjoy. But then Yayati himself says, to hell with it. I was just a lusty goat, an idiot. I never got satisfied, never found satisfaction. So Srila Jiva Goswami says that these stories foster detachment. Like in this particular story, we have Brihaspati, the husband, whose wife is taken away. We have Tara, who's gone to Soma, such a scandal, millions of years we still read about this scandal. She gets pregnant by not her husband. We have Soma, again, we read for millions of years how he took his guru's wife. So which of the three would you like to become? Do you want to become the one whose wife was stolen? Would you like to be the one who steals the wife? Or do you want to be the illegitimate son? Or do you want to be the wife who is stolen? Or who goes? Which attracts you most? Not so much, huh? So the idea is these stories create detachment. These stories create vairagya, which is part of Shantarasa. That's how Jiva Goswami explains that this also is rasa. Or in those lists of kings, you read this king built a huge, wonderful city. So when Burijan Prabhu was going through the Bhakti-Vedanta course in the VHE, he said, anybody heard about that king? We looked at each other, no. Anybody heard about that city? No. So just see. You do something wonderful, okay, your name is in the Bhagavatam, but otherwise nobody even remembers. Nobody has a clue. So if it's a material endeavor, what is the value of the material endeavor without Krishna consciousness? So this is how this also is rasa. It's Shanta rasa, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, but it's also rasa. It's also rasa. So that's one layer. But also, Srimad Bhagavatam, you can say it's a school, it's Bhagavad Dharma school, but it's not just a school, it's something more than, it's a very interesting school. It's a boot camp, where you train soldiers. And boot camp, they, give me 200, push-ups. Make push-ups, run till you almost die, or actually basically die, and then keep running or something. It's some types of army forces. I think something like 5 to 10% only go through the training successfully and are accepted. Some forces are so demanding. In UK you have SAS. In you say you have what they call Delta forces or something else. So very few are actually accepted in those forces. So Bhagavatam is a training for a spiritual warrior, and now we are just about to graduate into Canto 10. So you need a test, a graduation test. So Canto 9 is the graduation test. It's the last protection. The last protection. It's like before a fortress. So you have powerful walls, not easy to climb, and you have sometimes a moat. The water-filled ditch that it's difficult to cross. So I heard that this Canto 9 is like this. So these stories are testing you. From time to time, Srimad Bhagavatam is giving you tests. And there are different kinds of tests. Ultimately, all these tests are testing your resistance to duality, good and bad, attachment to the material world and hatred to the material world. If we do not pass the test properly, if I am too hateful of some of the behaviors and too attached to some, I want to do this or I hate this, which oftentimes still is connected, then I will also misunderstand Krishna. I will also think, how dare Krishna do this? How can Krishna do this? It's so bad what Krishna does. I will be afflicted, I will be affected too much by the act itself. And I will put some material judgment on Krishna's actions. So I will think that Krishna's Rasa Lila is like what is happening here. Also something reprehensible, something unacceptable. And I will judge. So we will misunderstand Krishna Lila. So Canto 9 is testing us like this. Sometimes we hear, so of course Srila Prabhupada repeats that we do not go to Canto 10 directly. So we systematically go through each canto, and each canto trains us, purifies us, elevates us, tests us. You may remember there is a test in Canto 6 where Parikshit is asking how these people can be protected from suffering. And what is the test? The test, there are actually two tests. So first, Shukadeva Goswami says, well, you just do some nice prayashchita, do a special prayashchita yagya or ritual to purify, bas, and then you can be protected from hell. So Parikshit says, Maharaj, we see Kunjara Shauchavat, people do so many rituals and then they go right back to the sinful activity. Why do you offer such a useless suggestion? So then he says, okay, tapasa, brahmacharyena, shamena, chadamena, okay, process of jnana. And still, Parikshit looks, askance, looks, this? So then finally, Shukadeva Goswami says, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana. Okay, kevala bhakti. Kevala bhakti. That's the actual salvation process for everything. There's a test. There is a test at the end of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are tests from time to time in different cantos. You have very erotic, romantic stories, very almost like explicit stories, which describe some erotic adventures in the heavenly planets, so that Bhagavatam can test you. So what do you want? Do you want that enjoyment? Maybe you just go to Swarga. Why do you need Krishna Loka? Just go enjoy. Huh? So you think, no. No. But also we can see, am I attracted to this? Or am I attracted, or do I want Krishna? Do I choose Krishna? Now, Canto 9 is a little more subtle, because you do have also erotic stories, like right now coming, right here, Urvashi. Urvashi, is there maybe one or two more here? But mostly, it's not even erotic stories, it's scandals. It's scandals. It's some activity that you cannot tolerate. Performed not by some drunkard on the street, but by the leaders of the universe. Brihaspati, teacher of the universe, all the demigods, teacher of the teachers of the rulers. Or Soma, Chandra, the origin of the Chandravamsha, and you can see this whole origin, all of the origin in our modern understanding. It's not very regular. It's not very regular how it begins. So, in our mind, we will be disturbed. We will be disturbed. So, either we will think, if we think that this is very bad, how can they do this? They should not do this. Or, if they do this, maybe I can do this also. Yes. So both are wrong. In the 11th canto, yes, so sometimes they say that before going to canto 10, you have to go through the 9 cantos systematically. Then you are prepared. You are also tested. And then they say that if you, after canto 10, if you do not read canto 11, then also we may fall down. Because after very, very sweet Krishna Lila, you have Mathura Lila, which establishes jnana, that Krishna is the personification of knowledge, according to Krishna Samhita. And then Dvaraka Lila. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if you read about Dvaraka Lila, it removes obstacles, all obstacles in karma yoga, in Krishna consciousness. So we can be bewildered by Vrindavan Lila, thinking it's ordinary pastimes. So then Mathura Lila, we see, oh, Krishna is very special. And then in Dwaraka Lila, oh, okay, 16,000 palaces, 9,000 palaces for everybody. Prabhupada says everybody had a palace. Is that the American dream, to have your house? Here you have a palace. That's our Dwaraka dream. Not a dream, it's a reality, Dwaraka reality. Everybody has a palace, Srila Prabhupada says. Yes, so that makes clear, okay, Krishna is God. Krishna is God, that's not ordinary. It's not ordinary human. And then, Canto 11, very serious philosophy. So just like you if you eat a lot of sweets, just sweet, you can get sick. So you need to eat something bitter or something like amla, which is sour, to balance that sweet taste. So Canto 11, you have Uddhava Gita, you have the 9 Yogendras. In chapter 19, there is a nice section where Krishna describes the best of everything. So he says, actual opulence. What is actual opulence? He says, is my own nature as the personality of Godhead, through which I exhibit the 6 unlimited opulences. The supreme gain in life. What is the supreme achievement, the supreme success? Is devotional service to me. And actual education. Actual education. What is actual education? Is nullifying the false perception of duality within the soul. This is what we are being trained in right here in Canto 9. Real modesty is to be disgusted with improper activities. And beauty is to possess good qualities, such as detachment. Real happiness is to transcend material happiness and unhappiness. Real happiness is to not care about happiness. And real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. That's coming shortly. You have Pururava and Aila Gita. A wise man is one who knows who is wise. Is one who knows the process of freedom from bondage. And a fool is one who identifies with this material body and mind. The real path in life, what is the right path? Is that which leads to me. And the wrong path is sense gratification, by which consciousness is bewildered. Actual heaven, what is the actual heaven? Is it joining this fight here for Tara? Actual heaven is the predominance of the mode of goodness. Sattva-guna. Whereas hell is the predominance of ignorance. I am everyone's true friend, acting as the spiritual master of the entire universe. And one's home is the human body. Sometimes we think, oh, this is my home. I have paid so much money, that's my home. And then, boom, something happens. Doesn't work out. My dear friend Uddhava, one who is enriched with good qualities is actually said to be rich. So who is rich? Who has good qualities. So that's the best education. And one who is unsatisfied in life is actually poor. So who is poor? Not one who has little money, but who thinks he has not enough, is unsatisfied. A wretched person is one who cannot control his senses. Whereas one who is not attached to sense gratification is a real controller. One who attaches himself to sense gratification is the opposite, a slave. In my childhood, my father gave me a little book with some wise parables. So there was a story about a yogi who was sitting on the street as a beggar, and then the king was passing, and everybody was greeting the king, and the yogi didn't pay attention. So the king stopped and he said, why don't you greet me? So the yogi said, why should I pay attention to a slave of my slaves? So the king said, you are a beggar, you have nothing. Why? I rule the country. So the yogi said, well, you are a slave of your senses, and I control my senses. So you are a slave of my slaves. Why should I offer too much respect to you? Of course, in the good story, the king says, oh, teach me, and then he learns how to control the senses in the proper story. So this is similar to what Krishna says here. Thus, Uddhava, I have elucidated all of the matters about which you inquired. There is no need for a more elaborate description of these good and bad qualities, since to constantly see good and bad is itself a bad quality. The best quality is to transcend material good and evil. So if you are looking for our statement about don't judge, lest you be judged. So here's this place. This is 11:19:45. Guna dosha drishir dosho. When you see guna and dosha, good and bad, that's dosha, that's bad. Gunas tu bhaya varjita. And when you stop dividing, oh, this is good, oh, this is bad, so that's good. This is guna. So this is going beyond duality. Going beyond duality, which we are trained in this Canto 9, which shows so many scandals, and we will be provoked to judge, condemn, be disturbed, either be attracted or be repulsed. And then by such duality, we are disqualified from understanding Krishna Lila, from understanding Canto 9. So, when I joined my ashram in Lviv, West Ukraine, on the wall we had a printout of Bhakti Charu Maharaja's Vaishnava etiquette. So I was very curious to read it, and then I read that point 31 is a Vaishnava does not criticize anybody except maybe his children and disciples. I was 19, so I thought, okay, children I don't have, and disciples I don't have. So who can I criticize? Looks like nobody. So this is Vaishnava etiquette point number 31. We can add one more. Children, disciples or students, and your employees. Okay, then this is your duty in the proper degree, so that they can digest, and also with the proper motive for their benefit. And then we can criticize. So, oh yes, yesterday, 2 days ago, I found a funny quote from Tennessee Williams. Sorry for mentioning his name, but he says that truthfulness is an excuse always used by cruel people who like to criticize. Cruel people like to pull the truthfulness card. We call the spade a spade, just because they like to enjoy criticism. Whereas all the Shastra, the same Canto 11, actually in the previous verses, Krishna says, Ritam cha sunritavani, truthfulness is sweet words also. Means, also like in the Gita, Satyam anudvega karam vakyam, Satyam priyahitam chayat. Austerity of speech is to speak non-disturbing words. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that a teacher can speak disturbing words to those who are his students. But if they are not his students, what's the point? If he simply disturbs. That's why there is a repeated instruction in the Shastra. Nakas yachin aprishto bruyat. Not asked, don't teach. Aprishto. That's why in the first canto, Srila Parikshit Maharaj repeats his question to Shukadeva Goswami to hear the answers. Because not asked properly, according to Shastra, don't teach. Only when there is a proper question, then there is proper transference of instruction. Otherwise, can be, they call it unsolicited advice. So when you give unsolicited advice, basically you play the role of a father, or mother, or a guru, or an employer, boss. And the other person may not agree that you are his father, his mother, or his guru. Check with them. Do they see you as their guru first before? And even then, how much criticism can they digest in one day or at one time? So frequently we have, in Mayapur we have some courses, or even in Bhakti Shastri we often invite people to do a special fasting. The idea for which comes from Burijan Prabhu's one Kartik Vrata. He says he was asked by a friend about his vratas, vows. In Vrindavan, if you take any sadhana for Kartik, Srimati Radharani gives you a very special promotional blessing. People do Vaidhi Bhakti sadhana, and she upgrades this to Raganuga Bhakti sadhana. It's a very unique offer. So therefore in Vrindavan, usually for Kartik, people add a few more vows, more rounds, better rounds, some Shastra, extra Katha. So Burijan Prabhu was saying, a friend came to him saying, so what's your vrata for this year? He said, well, I think like the last year, skipping sweets. And his friend said, everybody does it. We did it so many times. That's so ordinary. He said, I had an idea. How about we fast from criticism? And Burijan Prabhu said, yes, I think it's an interesting idea. Okay, thank you. I'll try it. So Burijan Prabhu was saying that I did not last one day. So today is Mauni Amavasya, and this is the main form of Mauna, not criticizing unnecessarily. Okay, if you have to, discipline your child, if you have to discipline or put a mark in a test for your student or disciple, or if you have to give instruction to your workers, okay, that's your duty. This is your duty. But otherwise, try it. You can try it. This is a good exercise. Fasting from criticism in words and in mind, which is the opposite form. Criticism is the opposite of satisfaction. Satisfaction. And simply, like Narada Purana says that if Yamaraj says, if somebody counts papagananam, if somebody counts the sins of the other person, if the sin is true, they get the same punishment. And if the sin is imagined, they get a double punishment. And in any case, they cut the sin of the criticized person in half. So if somebody criticizes you, rejoice. What is that story? Is that some king had a dream that he had a mountain of horse manure. Horse, these apple-like stool from horses, everybody, yes? And he had to eat all of it. And then he's asking his advisors, what is this? So they said, well, you have done so much, you have done some offenses and sins, so you will have to eat all of that. Hare Krishna. Yeah, this saying that be careful take care that each word you speak is sweet. Because otherwise you may have to eat them back, some of these words, right? So if you speak, bad word, if you eat it back, that's the word you have to eat. So that king is asking the advisor, so what do I do? He said, I don't know, I have some idea. So you go to the local tavern, daba. I don't know, we must have had some dabas in old times. And show a bottle, that you are coming with a bottle. I think it looks like what we are reading about here, Hare Krishna. Show a bottle, that you are a drunkard. And then people will criticize. And when they criticize, they will cut your sin half, in half, in half, in half, and then it will be removed. Yeah, okay. So he goes to the tavern, he brings a bottle, and people see and they start speaking. Do you know? Did you hear about the king? Oh, he came with a bottle and and they criticize. And then after a few days, he has another dream, and he sees this huge mountain is reduced totally to a small heap, just a little bit. So he goes to the advisor and he says, thank you, it worked. But a little is left. Why? He says, there is one sadhu staying in the ashram. He never spoke bad about you. If he criticizes you, then you're clean. Okay, so he goes to the sadhu. Did he bring the bottle? Or he disguised himself? He disguised himself and he said, Prabhu, did you hear? I think he disguised himself. He said, Prabhu, did you hear about our king? They say he came to the tavern with a bottle and he was acting like a total last drunkard. And he was trying to provoke, that hey, criticize, say something. So the sadhu looked at him and he said, you eat your own horse stool. You eat it. I don't want to eat it. There are many stories like this. Like there is another story how a king was giving charity, and somehow he gave some, kheer to some brahmana, and there was an eagle who caught a snake, and he was carrying a snake, and some poison dropped from the snake, and it dropped exactly into the that dona or cup or bowl with a kheer. And so the sadhu had it, and he ate it, and probably he had some, ulcer or something, and so this poison entered into his bloodstream, and he died. So the Yamadutas are coming, and they try to figure out, who do we punish? Okay, eagle and snake, that's just natural. The king didn't actually do anything wrong. How could he predict about the eagle and the snake? The brahmana, he was just acting according to his dharma. Everybody acted according to his dharma. So they decided to go around and hear what people say. Some lady is there, so she's asking, you are looking for some house or some road? And they said, yeah, we are looking, we are going to the king. And she said, you be careful about that king. You know what happened? He was feeding one sadhu, and the sadhu died. That's the king for you. That's our king for you. So you be careful with our king. So the Yamaduta said, bingo, the sin will go to her. She's the one who will take the sin. Because otherwise we don't find who will take the sin. So she criticizes, okay, she gets the sin. So Canto 9 is testing us. Are we going to criticize? Are we going to be disturbed? Are we going to be attracted? Are we going to hate? Are we going to want what they have? Are we going to see? So Krishna, tatha paramahamsanam muninam amaladunam. Krishna is from paramahamsas, who are nirmatsaranam, not envious. If you're not envious, why would you? We will not be disturbed. If I'm disturbed, means some, like that joke is that Hridayananda Maharaj is saying that who is a priest? It's somebody who is very worried that maybe somebody somewhere has a good time. Means he's enjoying. So how dare he enjoy? I'm suffering here, doing this austerity, and he's enjoying. Means I want to enjoy. And therefore I criticize. How can you enjoy, right? That's a joke. So that's why I will criticize. Like we had this, in one place we had this criticism fast, and I was doing this also. And then I went for a darshan to one other temple, and then some kirtan started, and there was that kirtaniya with very characteristic fashionable appearance, and he was singing in such an expressive way that I thought, why does it? He's singing for the girls. He's singing, why does it? What is? Then I said, so wait, stop it. Why do you criticize? Why should you criticize? Okay, I shouldn't criticize. Oh my God, why does he sing like this? Again, I think bad. Then I say, stop it, why do you criticize? So, anyway, you're here, once in 20 years. You don't know the person. You see him for the first time, for the last time. You don't know who he is. Why do you have to think bad about him? It's not your responsibility. And you don't even know if actually. So, but again, he's singing, and I think, oh, he's. So then I thought, why do I criticize? Then I thought, oh, it's because I like to be approved, noticed, and distinguished. Because I am proud, so I think he is proud. I can notice pride very easily from 2 kilometers, even if it's not there. Why? Because I'm proud. I know this perfectly myself, so I can easily find it, even if it's not there. So as soon as I turned the mirror to myself, then I thought, oh, immediately the tendency stopped. I was worried, I'm seeking approval, I'm seeking appreciation, and I'm proud. So that helped me to, at least at that time, keep my fast after 4 attempts and not criticize that nice kirtaniya. So also, when we read these stories, the idea is to understand that this is the material world, there is duality, but there is a spiritual world beyond duality, which we can enter when we are beyond duality. So this is the test. Canto 9 is the test to help us come beyond duality. So try, today's Mauni Amavasya, very good for fasting. So try to fast from criticism. Okay, you can have 5 minutes to criticize me, that's okay, that's not counted, okay? That's not criticism, that's realism, right? You criticize me. But otherwise, experiment. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any criticisms? Questions or comments? Prabhuji? Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for a very nice katana. Who I'd like to ask, we can tell perhaps when somebody is externally criticizing, but is there an equal effect when somebody is criticizing in his own mind? So he's not sharing, but he's criticizing in his mind. So what is the difference?
They say that being angry is like eating poison and ourselves and hoping that the other person will die. Right? So if I criticize in my mind, this is bad, he's so bad, how can he do this? So I'm eating poison, right? I'm unhappy. Sometimes the other person doesn't even know. Sometimes it's easier to go to the person and ask. This is the thing I heard people complain, that why didn't they ask me? They could have just asked me, just write, shoot me a message. 5 seconds. Did it happen? Did you do this? Or is it true? And then I would clarify what happened. Instead, all kinds of either true, half-true, imagined or reflected things, sometimes on anonymous forums going around, yes? So we have this Bhaktisiddhantaji's statement, which was quoted by many people, that the thoughts create words, words create behaviors, behaviors create habits, habits create character, character creates karma, karma creates samsara. So we are not punished for thoughts in Kali Yuga, but the thoughts themselves are punishment often. If these are such negative thoughts, oftentimes they're a punishment. And for the exercise, Krishna also says, Manah prasada somyatvam maunam. He describes the 5 austerities of the mind. It's a satisfaction of the mind, being a well-wisher of others. Maunam, being silent. Not really silent, meaning not, rotating, rolling, dwelling on unnecessary stuff. So that's maunam. Yes, not repeating all the insignificant, useless things. Of course, it's easier said than done. Srila Prabhupada does give a solution in the Bhagavad-Gita purport there, saying we have so many nice stories in the Puranas. So think about Krishna. I think Mother Urmila Devi, some days ago, she shared her secret technique. Yeah, when she's disturbed, she tries to immediately catch some parallel with the Bhagavatam or Krishna Lila. Oh, Shishupal also criticized. Oh, you can think, oh, Brihaspati did like this, he did like this. And then it's in Canto 9, and then we have this story. So in order somehow to catch and take it to Krishna, that's her technique. Srila Prabhupada's also suggesting that in the purport. And we have that beautiful verse 19:15 in this canto. A similar is there in Canto 11, but this one is how to make sarva sukhamaya disha. How to make everywhere you go happy. Everywhere you go, you are happy. Yadana kurute bhavam sarva bhuteshva mangalam samadrishte stadapam sa sarva sukhamaya disha. When a man is non-envious and does not desire ill fortune for anyone, he is equipoised. For such a person, all directions appear happy. You look north, happy. You look south, happy. You look here, happy. That's the formula. Yes. Also, a secret technique is here. Wish them well, like Prahlad Maharaj. Swastyastu vishvasya. May the whole universe be happy. And what about rascals? Kalah prasidatam. May they be pacified. As Madhyam Bhaktas, we are not obliged to be happy for them, but at least divert, don't dwell on them, don't meditate, don't hate them back on the negative. Okay, Karabhajana, Anubhama Krishna. Some comment from you, from Maharaj? You have some comment? Okay, so Karabhajan Prabhu.
Right. Now, you see, from the childhood, we are having the nature of criticizing. So, that criticizing nature is always in the human being. So, to come out from there, sometimes it's very difficult. But if you try, everything is possible, nothing is impossible for person. So, my point is that this habit, how to avoid this habit, this habit which we have from the childhood.
Yes. I have a brilliant idea. In the VIH, we need somebody to mark exams and essays. That's criticism. Yeah? This is, I remember, Sankirtan from Switzerland, who left the body, you know him? He wrote to me. I didn't tell him anything. He just knew I'm running a course somewhere. And he wrote to me on some other topic, and then he wrote, hate marking essays? Welcome to the club. I felt like fully understood. Because what's marking? It's criticizing. So if you come and mark, we have hundreds of papers to criticize. And that's productive. You know, you have to find the mistakes to correct, to help the students, to give the mark. So in other words, that's there are areas where it is your duty to find fault. On one hand. On the other hand, as I said, we can see some faults this is our duty to correct, and some faults it's completely outside of our circle of influence or responsibility or duty. So then I should ask, why am I so disturbed? Or if I don't like it, why am I here? If I'm so good, why this bad thing happens to me? Maybe I'm not so good as I think. Maybe it's special mercy of Krishna, which I should be thankful for. Otherwise, please come. We will give you a big stack of exams to mark.
That's like the example of the sadhu. King went to the sadhu and asked him that king is doing this and this, and he has to, he told him you have to take that horse. So you have to be like sadhu and understand that the person is criticizing him. So
also, yeah, you can be afraid. I can be afraid. Actually, I'm afraid because I personally like to criticize the critics. So if critics take half the sin of everybody, and if I criticize the critics, how much do I take? I'm a little worried. So please, somebody criticize me there after the class, okay? So, Gopal Prabhu.
Maybe a better interpretation than criticize, especially when you were speaking in regards to checking papers in the schools, correcting. So there's a difference between correcting and criticizing.
Yes.
Sometimes when we even perform something properly, we will be criticized for that.
Thank you. Anupam Krishna, the last question.
Otherwise, we're going to criticize you and keeping everyone hungry.
Yeah, I will, yes. I'm counting on it. Sorry. The last one. Yeah, if somebody is hungry, please go catch your breakfast.
Just a little continuing on that thing. As a devotee, you actually have to sometimes be aware in sense of you have to see the particular. That's one thing. Another thing I would like to, these stories which appear in the Bhagavatam, you have to also understand it in the context of a Purana. And in a Purana you find all sciences are there. It's like if you look in Mount Meru, the way the cities are organized, that's Vastu. If you look at other sciences like Jyotish, you find the relationship between planets like Moon and Brihaspati.
Yes.
This is actually the blueprint in material nature.
Yes.
Why it is like that.
Yes.
Similar story you find Brahma creating different mentalities, providing for the conditioned jivas opportunities to live out their material desires. Like when he yawns, snakes are born.
Yes.
Because, why would Brahma, who is our Sampradaya Acharya, supposed to be pure devotee, doing all this stuff? No, when it comes to facilitating, it's part of Krishna's body, then these stories are given. I look at them from that angle. There must be some science behind it.
Yes.
It's rasa for those who are very elevated, like those who are equal. You see, that's part of their nature, but if you're in the nature, then you have to be, it's a warning, be careful. If you are
exactly,
like that, you might become attracted to your guru's wife. So be very careful with it. Other similar examples are like that. You know what criticism? Rahu being an enemy of Surya and Chandra. Why is that?
Yes.
He only got sad, his body was gone, and it had only criticizes. So these are explanations, these are the blueprints of material nature, and it gives the Adidaivika part of the human life on earth also. So in that sense, as I read it, I don't really get disturbed. I confess it. Is it like that? Is it like that? And then these things I understand, yes, just like Krishna's Virat Rupa. He was eating Kshatriyas. He's supposed to get only vegetarian bhoga. Right? But in Virat Rupa, he's not a vegetarian. Same as Singhadev.
Thank you. Yes, it has a very interesting astrological. So we see Soma rules the mind, Brihaspati and emotions. Brihaspati teaches the intelligence. So there is certain conflict between them. So yeah, there's a very interesting astrological dimension here and psychological dimension from this story, which we can see reflected in our life. But also another point is, thank you for mentioning this, in the Gita it says Yanisha Sarabhutanam and so forth, Sanisha Pashyato Mune. Whatever Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Mune. Where the ordinary living entities are awake, the sage sees that as the night. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he doesn't enjoy the night, but he sees the night. So thank you, I'm very sorry. It doesn't mean we should be blind. We are not blind. We see, okay, this is not proper, this is not good, but we are not disturbed, or we are not involved. So even a Paramahamsa, he's not blind. He will see what's happening, but he doesn't become emotionally affected by the duality of this material world. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nidai Gaur Premanande.